Here we go. All right. So, placing my hands on my heart, taking that deep cleansing breath of love and gratitude. So incredibly grateful to be the two or more gathered in the name, in the nature of love. Grateful for our willingness to know the truth of our being and to live the teachings of Jesus through A Course in Miracles to the best of our ability. We're grateful for the mighty companions, the earthly and heavenly helpers that lead us and guide us and bless us through this journey. We're grateful for our willingness to have open hearts and open minds and to be great receivers. And we're grateful to share everything that we are, everything that we receive through this conversation, and all blessings with Mother Earth and all her beings, because we are one. In grace and divine gratitude, we let it be, and so it is. Amen. And we're going to continue in this meditative state to our visualization for America. All righty then. All right. So take a nice deep breath. You can keep your eyes closed if you'd like. And we're focusing on projecting our collective energy out to around March of 2025, anywhere in the United States. Visualize feeling the fresh air, hearing the birds singing, seeing people smiling, because everything went perfectly for the most beneficial outcome for the United States and the world regarding the US presidential election. The secret is not merely to see the outcome, but to feel it. Employ all of your senses. Picture yourself standing fully engaged in the precise situation that you wish to manifest. It is not a future event. It's happening right now. It is real right now. As you look around yourself, you're seeing that everything is good. Any pressure is off. Any worry is gone. Your center, fully in your power. There's no fear or worry or anything else. As we take another nice deep breath, we release this beautiful energy out into the world to be absorbed and to expand. And whenever you are ready, you can open your eyes and come back into this now moment. So welcome everybody. Good to see you, Carol. It's been a busy summer for everybody. So we are in still our purple book, chapter 3, section 5, perception versus knowledge. And I'm going to start us with paragraph 9. Perception, miracles, and doing are closely related. Knowledge is a result of revelation and induces only thought. Perception involves the body, even in its most spiritualized form. Knowledge comes from the altar within and is timeless because it is certain. To perceive the truth is not the same as knowing it. This is why students may have so much trouble with integrating this course. The tentative perception of some is too uncertain for knowledge. because knowledge is sure. The perception of others is so variable that they swing from sudden but real knowledge to complete cognitive disorganization. And when I read that, first of all, when he says knowledge comes from the altar within, to me, that's like he's just saying,
from our truth.
yes, exactly. God is our oneness. And that it's not something that's outside of us, it's not anyone or anything. And when you know something, you know it to your core. You may not be able to like show it to people in black and white or, put your finger on it, but you know it to your core. And so that to me is what the difference is between perception and knowledge. And when I am not living in accordance to what I know to be true, that's when I do feel that cognitive disorganization, as he says, that ADD brain that's like, oh, squirrel, where you have a hard time finding words or you have a hard time focusing on anything. Yeah. So that's where I'm starting us. And that's what I got from that one paragraph. Go ahead, Carol.
I just want to say hello, and I missed you, and it's been a wild ride this last year. And but it's all good. Everything is good. We were away as well for 2 weeks. I went to join class and realized you were not here. And so then we went away. We just came back on Friday. And so I was going to have my quiet time. I live a very late life here. I don't get up early because it takes me a long time to get maybe 7 hours of sleep. So anyway, it's my stage of life here and I've accepted it and it's fine. But so much, the truth, so much truth. In fact, I texted my kids because my one son said this morning, and he sent this text to the whole family. He said, Dad came to me in the form of this blue dragonfly because Dad used to have a keychain with a blue dragonfly
Oh
on it.
my gosh.
And so now my son has it, my older son, David, the challenging one. And so, so he texted to all of us how he felt Dad's presence with this dragonfly there. And so I texted back and said, Dad is always with us. We were his whole life. Where would he be but with us? And what's lovely is once someone passes, they're not just in a single dimension like we are here.
Right.
They can be with David. They can be with Danny. They can be with me. He can be with me, can be with Dana, all at the same time because that dimension is different. They
Yes.
have the physical body we have here, so the needs are different and so on. So I gave him this little sermon saying, love is love, no matter what form it takes, how it looks. The truth is always the truth. So it's almost like I was seconding what we're reading here. And then I just looked in number 57 down in the notes. Cognitive disorganization refers to distractibility. And isn't that the way of this world? We
Absolutely.
get so distracted, so easily out of focus. We think we're focusing and then something happens, somebody calls, whatever, we see something, we hear something, and we just go off track. And so, yes, and my daughter was saying to me yesterday, Mom, I'm realizing our life in God is the exact opposite to this life on earth. Everything we think has to happen. You got to get a job. You have to do this. You have to do no. And I said, remember that scripture in the book, in the course, we need do nothing. Not
Yes.
that we sit around doing nothing for our whole lives, but when things don't work, she's been trying to get a job. She's a PhD, okay? And she thinks she has to go out and work and make money because she's got this big education behind her. Well, she's also got an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old child. And God keeps not allowing her to get these jobs that she's a lot of the times overqualified for.
Yeah.
But it's like he's saying, will you just listen to me, child? Will you just let me be God or your dad or in your life? And it's time for you to just be with your family, raise your children, enjoy them. Everything's okay. And she struggles so much because she's an overachiever. She's a 3 on the Enneagram. I don't know if you all know about that, but she's this big, that's why she has the PhD, for heaven's sakes,
Mhm.
And so, but she's learning God is God. When you put God first, you're going to go up against, and nothing works for her. Not one job has come through. And
Yeah.
she sees other people, oh, they're getting jobs left and right. We live near Philly. There's all these schools, there's all these places. No, I said, no, Dana, you gave your life to God. You love God. Your first inclination in everything is to go to God. Well, if that's true, God is being God. He's being your father. He's being your mother. He's being your parent. And you're getting frustrated if you just sit back and allow things to go the way they're supposed to go and not worry and fret and try and strive. Just let it go, at least for this summer. Enjoy your family. It's amazing how now she's coming to these conclusions. We don't go the way of the world. That's not how we live. That's not how we're supposed to live. Oh, you have to push and strive and do and succeed and make money and da da da. And she's realizing, I think, Mom, none of that is true for me anymore. And she's seeing this whole other
Mhm.
way of living. And it's amazing to her because all her needs are met. Casey makes a good salary. It's not like they can't do the things they want to do. And this is but she's got to stop the sense of, oh, I have to do this because I have this big degree. I have to do that. I have to earn money. I have to go. That's the world. That's not the kingdom. So it's just been a wild ride with my family. And it's been lovely. And it still is. I mean, I love being here. I'm very happy. I miss you very much, but it's just there's things, to kind of
Yeah.
have to fall in place being here because I'm still relatively new. But I miss you, and I wanted to come back and say hello and let you know I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful, and I love you all. I'm so happy to be with you.
Yeah. I'm so glad to see
Thanks for
you.
letting me share.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And we make plans and God laughs, right?
I know. And finally, she's like, okay, I'm not going to beat my head against the wall anymore. I'm just going to relax, take my kids to the pool, enjoy my family,
Yeah.
just live.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just
Yeah.
amazing. So
Mhm.
good.
Yeah. Thank you, Carol.
Yeah.
Anybody else like to share? Go ahead, Mary Lee.
Well, I I don't know, Carol, how much you've missed this summer because I've missed too much this summer, and I'm about 20 pages I see behind on the course, so I will strive to. But I really, I have read half the lesson, uh, howbeit a little. I need to study it and go over it again. But I think that's interesting concepts about perception, miracles, and doing are closely related. You read this part. Um, Knowledge is a result of revelation and induces only thought. Perception involves the body, even in its most spiritualized form. Knowledge comes from the altar within. and is timeless because it is certain. And then the last there, that to perceive the truth is not the same as knowing it.
Mhm.
So I'm finding those words very applicable and good. Right now, one of the several things going on that is my family is a portion, not my family, but my family of origin in Michigan. And not to be boring, but just quickly to tell you, there's just one brother and one sister left. The brother is married to a, and they do incidentally know all the truth. So just so you know where we're starting from with them, it's very audacious, and that we have the whole truth, and they're quite many times preachy to me. And actually, I remain silent. I, for the most part, remain silent. I don't wish to argue about Trump. I don't wish to, knowing that they and God are right before you've even started, you're kind of on a diminished scale here, you know. So I usually just listen. And then, so that's one half of the family, the brother and sister-in-law. Now, my sister had a closed head injury many years ago, and she is in mild to moderate dementia, but she has no memory. What happened 3 minutes ago is gone. What happened a minute ago? Now, that's not to say that she's a very stubborn person, and she doesn't very often really talk about God. I sometimes will say, Ruth Ann, why don't you in your heart try to pray, you know, or something to calm her down, because she and her husband are kind of in trauma drama. And
Mhm.
just at this, and that's constant, it goes back and forth. He too is disabled, but his mind is, I don't want to judge him, but he wouldn't even begin to, I don't know his IQ, but just so you understand where I'm coming from, he tried to have a job when he was in his 20s. He tried to sell donuts in a donut shop. But Mary Lee, it was so distressing when every day this man would come and I'd tell me he wanted 24 donuts. I just can't do that, was his reason for not being able to stay at that job. So we're talking, you know, but yet he and my sister have been able to be companions. He repeats and repeats and repeats. It's to tell his mind what he just said. He repeats and okay. And it's very hard to be patient with that. But wasn't that quite a match made in heaven for someone that repeats and repeats, and the other one can't remember. Sheesh. But I, you know, I want to treat them in the right way. And right now she's in a nursing home, and she is, he wants the guardianship, and I'm my own person. I can make decisions. So she got up on her own this morning and fell in the nursing home. this is just an example. We just had the judge say yesterday, well, you can have a court-appointed attorney, and, you know, because she protests Ron, the husband, to be the guardian.
Mm.
So I'm talking more and more to them, and sometimes you feel like I need a little nourishment here. I'm being bombarded here with either it's all up to God, don't try to say anything, it's all up to, and they're distancing themselves a little bit, since it's just interesting, but not, I guess you don't always know. You can't say that you yourself, meaning me, know all the answers too. Because what I perceive is that Ron should go ahead and have the guardianship, but you know, be that as however it turns out, I strive to help him, though it's a repetitive process. And I guess when it's talking about perception and things like that, we're not all on the same scale of ability to receive the concepts that were given here. So I guess I wonder how that and same with my brother and sister and all who know it all. They know all about God. If you want to know anything, they can tell you. Isn't that convenient? Sheesh. So in a way, I feel, you know, I'm going to be 75 in November. So I'm striving to grow amidst pretty closed unit. And my real family is my neighborhood, the neighbor friends, and that. So who are striving to also to grow as people. You know, one of the neighbors said, oh, there's some interesting articles in the newspaper. And then you might say, oh, is there about the election or something coming up? And she'll very, well, you know, I'm just not able to talk about that. She can't talk about Donald Trump. She says, it makes me, they're very helpful people to immigrants that are coming into Anchorage, and they help them find home. Both of them do. Ken and Ingrid, very, they would enjoy the Course of Miracles. I know that they wouldn't pretend they had all the answers already. So I'm always seeking, but it said something about questions here that I was, and then I'll stop going on and on because while you ask questions in the preceding paragraph, it is not until you recognize him, God, that you know him. Only then are you able to stop asking questions about him. Certainty at the beginning of 8 about know thyself, but certainty is always of God. I just am finding a lot of food for thought in this, and I don't want to take up more time, but thanks for listening. And just to catch up a little bit on one of the things going on.
Yeah, thanks for sharing all that, Mary Lee. Yeah, I mean, questions in the world, I have them constantly too. And I still realize and know in my heart of hearts that it's a distraction. and that, everything is truly helpful, and that, my path through this life using A Course in Miracles is not for everybody. It's not meant for everybody. And it's for anybody who wants to, but it's not everybody's cup of tea. So I know that there is space for all of those who believe that they have all of the answers, and space for all of those who don't want to even ask the questions. Right?
Right.
So, um, yeah, I would do the same. Like, as soon as I hear that, or know, or suspect even that somebody is uncomfortable with any political views, any spiritual views, I just stop talking about it, because I'm one with my brothers and sisters, and it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter in the big scheme of things who the president is. I know I have my preferences, but I'm not going to push my agenda on anybody else. If somebody wants to talk about it, I'm happy to do that. But while I'm in this meat suit and this time and space thing, as this human experience, um, I have compassion and at least tolerance for my humanity. Because if I don't, then I'm just denying that part of me. I mean, I know it's not the essence of my being, but it is a part of what this human experience is my personality and my opinions and judgments. And so judging myself for that doesn't feel helpful. I've done that for a long, long time, for decades. And I'm, just, kind of recently realizing how unhelpful it is. So, I just feel like I will ask the questions until I'm done asking the questions, even though I know that it doesn't really matter what the answers are. So, yeah. Thanks, Mary Lee. Carol, go ahead.
Mary Lee, the only thing that I would say to you, if I don't even know if you're asking anything really, is just know your own truth. Know for yourself what is true for you. Know your version of knowing God, your sense and your essence. That is the truth of God, because you are of God. And so just know you, and let everything else just be what it is, because you can only, we all can only really control our own feelings, our own thoughts, our own perceptions of the truth. And so your relationship to spirit is really all that matters, just the way mine is with spirit in my heart and mind. And so let that be enough, because it is enough. You don't have to be anybody else's anything,
Yeah.
really, except to love them the way, the best you know how. And all of us have that. And so that's all I wanted to share, that you don't have to be anything about your sister-in-law, your brother, your other sister, or whoever else the other what stuff's going on. Only if you're guided by God to do or say something. Other than that, just pray for them, love them the best you know how, but don't, keep your own sense of what you know is true regarding your relationship to God. And that's really all that matters, because you cannot, none of us can change anybody else's heart or mind, and it's okay. That's exactly okay. So rest in that. You know what I mean? Just allow that to be true for you, because it's really only about each one of us. It's all our life is about what's inside of us, which is everything. It's everything. We have it all. That's another thing I've learned more and more and more each day. We don't have to go anywhere to find our truth, our safety, our knowledge, our protection. It's all within us. Everything is inside of us. It was given to us probably before we were ever born. And so we have it. And I just want to say this one fast thing. Years ago, my mentor, her name is Jeannie, and she's got the dementia that you were talking about. She remembers nothing. Nothing, not what she ate an hour ago, not who came to visit her. It is the saddest thing, because she was my mentor for many years in spiritual matters. But she said to me, and she loved the dictionary because academically she was not educated. She grew up in the streets of New York. She had an 8th grade education. She was this little tiny lady who she opened her mouth, you just thought she was just not really anybody. And so, but she would look up everything. She had this huge dictionary because that's how she would learn. You know, she wanted to know exactly what words meant. So we looked up the word educate, right? Do you know the word educate, what it really means? I think it's Latin or Italian, the base word. It means bringing forth everything that's within us, which actually means all the schools today in this world, okay, they give you the impression that the teacher stands in the front of the room and spouts all this stuff, and the students, like little birds, take all that information like birds being fed by the mom, right? They're just taking all of it in. But no, again, it's the opposite. God has put everything we need to know inside of us, and being educated means bringing it out, because it's already there. We miss nothing. We don't lack anything. And when I learned that, that was the biggest like turnaround about the world and about the way things go in this world. So no, you in many cases, you don't need a college degree. You don't need to go do what the world says you got to go do. God's already given it to us if we would just understand that and just say, God, help me to access what's already there. I have everything I need. I don't need to go anywhere to be anything and learn something. It's already there. That was such a big revelation to me, that word educate really just means bringing forth what's always been within us. Everything. God hasn't spared us anything, and everyone has it. We just haven't recognized it. We just haven't been willing to say, God, okay, be God in my life. Be my father, my mother, my helper. Let the angels help us. Any support is wonderful support. My mother, who died in 1991, sent me a message when my husband passed to let me know she's been supporting me since she passed. I didn't know that for the longest time. Love doesn't stop. Love doesn't end. Love is love. It's that truth that it's always true. It's eternal. It's real. And so because she was my mother, I don't know where she is now. I don't know what she's doing, but I do know that she still supports me because she knows the difficulty that I had with my husband in our marriage. Then when he passed, everything kind of got, and she wanted me to know she's always been my support. She didn't ever stop being my cheerleader, my whatever moms are supposed to be to us. And I'm grateful she was that, but she still is. And so it constantly brings this back full circle. All the truths, all the eternal stuff, all the love, all the light, all whatever, it's there. Because if love is present, God is present. And so, you know, honey, just hang on to your own stuff, own your own stuff, love your family the best you know how, but let go of any sense of you know what I mean? Because they're family, you have to do certain things or be certain ways or invest certain, you don't, unless you're directly led to do that. It's your own, it's you, it's what's inside of you and how that evolves and grows, because that's where you're at with your own essence. So just focus on that and don't allow yourself to get, you know, you can get that way because family can do that to you.
They
Yeah. So just wanted to pass that on because, yeah, it's can be complicated. It can get wild.
You know, one reason I think people enjoy wildlife, as you can see, my cat's being a little bit tending of me. uh,
They're precious.
yeah, they're always, there's not conflict with what you're saying or what you're feeling. If you've been gone, as I was just before our session here, to the neighbors, because of different things going on, they're welcome you home, whether you were gone too long, or
Yep,
they don't
yep.
say, "Oh, you were gone too long," or "You weren't gone long enough." They're just glad to see
Just
you.
accept you. Yep, they do. Just
I normally am not, I don't lose myself in I just thought of their perceptions, if you would, or ability, their abilities are their own. And I think on both sides, they have a certain respect or appreciation. Right now, they need, I wouldn't just stop communicating with them. I'm not in a place of feeling confused for them or engaged. One of the things I did was go to Michigan and visit them for a quick week. Well, I don't know what your travel experience is, but I think I can't go anywhere without spending $1,000.
Mhm.
There's 500 for the flight, even under the best of miles used and so forth, and 500 for the motel, and you haven't started in on the food yet. So it's just, I did do that though. That was something I did this summer, just to be, I'm here, you know, I'm part of your lives. I'm hoping for the best and like that.
very loving, very loving.
Well, I think just what you were saying, Carol, that also is more peaceful. Like you were saying with your daughter, maybe not being completely peaceful with her. Gee, I got all this education and now I'm not seemingly utilizing it. And probably the time will come that she, and meanwhile, probably every day she uses the things she learned, you know, and her, but comfort and peace is kind of what I strive for. And
We all do. We all do.
I
That's
don't
what we
want to be wrapped up in, you know, you don't, you can say some things and then just let it be, because you can't, like you said, you can't change others. You can't, that's kind of a lesson, isn't it? Boy, is that taking a while.
Well, and that's why so many of the teachings place importance on know thyself, because all the answers that you need are right
they're
here.
there. Yeah, they're there.
And that's the only thing that you can control. I have to share this picture that one of my buddies, my drumming buddies, shared. it cracked me up. I accept what I can't control.
Oh, oh, that's great.
So yeah, there's a lot of things that we can't control in this life. But this, we can control this. And when we don't control it, we can at least love ourselves through it until we come back to our right mind. Yeah. So thank you both for sharing all that. Carla.
Okay. I just was listening to Carol, and I'm, glad you're back. And I have this game. It seems like it's just a game. It's just an app. It's just, nothing but some of the most important things I learned from life. And so that's what school is. It's to educate you of the world. It's not to educate the true self. Is we already are. And so it's the first half of life. Is in this group we have, I do the unspoken quote of the day or unknown quote of the day or whatever. The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego. The second half is going inward and letting go of it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, took a picture. So, in what we read, it's like it stood out to me as several lines. I haven't marked them all, but questioning delusions is the first step in undoing them. That's paragraph 4, the first line. Questioning delusions is the first step in undoing them. In life, this body's life, because I can't remember any other. I used to avoid things that disturbed me and tried to stay peaceful. And I kind of, but I've realized that doesn't really help me resolve those feelings that disturb me. They're still disturbing me. So I need to actually go into, and that's what I start questioning. When I was in Portland, I was surrounded by things I made, different statements that I made large. And one was this, it was huge, and it was big, it was big letters, and then the bottom was small. It's question everything you think you know. And that's the ACIM, I think. And that's what happens when you go into what disturbs you. Because the peaceful, you already know. It's allowing or truth or love or what all those things we are, right? So in the course it says you don't have to, love cannot be taught or something like that. It's that it's to let go of everything that is not love, so you can see love is all around us, everywhere. And so as you go into it and recognize it for what it thought it was, and it's not. And you let go, and you can see love, even most awful things. It seems like that people do, or whatever. They actually think it's. I mean, what's doing the thinking?
Yeah.
I used to read ACIM, and I used to go to groups like 2 or 3 times a week, and people would constantly say, I need to think about this. Like, no, thinking is of the ego. We know. So we gotta look at the thinking is what you gotta look at. And then once you let go of what you think you don't know or think it is, or the meaning you get it or whatever, you will see the truth. And so I let's see if I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I lost it. Maybe I'll go back and try to find it again, but yeah, no. It's when I let go of trying, let go of believing every thought. I mean, I used to drive in a car and I'd be driving off a bridge, on a bridge or whatever, and a thought would come to me, like just imagining, what if I drove off the bridge and just went onto the water? Who hasn't had that thought? It comes into our mind, right? Do we believe it? No, we don't do it. We don't believe it. So all those thoughts that come into your mind, maybe look at them. Just look at them. I had this one experience where I was staying alone in this green tree inn in Victorville. I had a really amazing moment with this lady come out of this room in front of me, and she was, whatever, it's many things, just heavy, and she was in a hurry, and she was kind of brusque, and and I got to see, is that love? Because we say it over and over, we're love, right? But I started questioning those thoughts. Is that love? And I don't even have to know. I mean, knowing it's not knowing, but think about what I consider love. I know it. It was slightly disturbing. I wanted to read a poem, but I can't find it. Maybe I'll read it later. Okay. But just look, this life is not good. It's not bad. It's just an experience. And some of them we name good, and some of them we name bad. Everything is neutral. It's not what the course says until we give it a meaning, right? Look at that meaning. It's not good or bad, whatever you did. It's never good. For love, don't think you need to do anything. Maybe you'll come in this lifetime, maybe in the next. It doesn't matter. It's not in our time. There is no time, really. So we're eternal, not the body self, because it's definitely going to go at some point. What is eternal? If we're one with God, our true essence is. Don't worry about the pace you're going at, the speed you're going at, how fast or how slow, or you did something right or did something wrong, or what to do next. Just live. Be in the moment. I think it's enlightenment. Being totally present. See it if someone did something, but don't judge it. Because our judging, that's what makes it so. We judge it, and we have the creativity of God. We make it so by judging it. And mostly we do that by judging ourselves. Love that too. It's been a real challenge this last year too, with your broken bones, and I fall all the time, and I can't really walk the same way because I can't rest. I almost feel like 4 days ago, and it came to me. I knew in an instant. You don't have to contemplate. You have to wait for truth to come to. It is there. It was there immediately. I cannot fall again. I cannot fall while in this body again. And if I do, I'll be okay. I'll love that, love myself for any what seem like errors. Just when you wake up, tell yourself, I love me. Thank you for giving me another day. This body's life. So I can remember how we're truly created to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mhm. I'm glad you're still in this life too. Yeah, when you were talking, it just reminded me of what I read in paragraph 10. If and this goes for ourselves as well. If you attack another's error or our own, you will hurt yourself. You do not recognize him when you attack. Attack is always made on a stranger. You are making him a stranger by misperceiving him, so that you cannot know him. It is because you have made him into a stranger that you are afraid of him. What is he to you? He is your brother. What else do you need to know? But do know that this is not a matter of perception, but a fact. Perceive him correctly so that you can know him. The prayer for the miracle is, Jesus, help me see my brother as he really is, or sister, and thus release both him and me. Anytime there is anything unloving that crosses your mind, you should immediately recognize that you do not want to hurt your brother or yourself. Yeah. And this is why know thyself, again, is so important. If you know yourself, then you know that you are one with everyone, no matter what their seeming differences, opinions, perceptions, no matter what, we're one. And so if I look at every single person and I see that they are exactly the same as I am at their essence, then how could I judge anybody? How could I have any sense of emotion toward them except for love? They are the Christ light, same as us. And everything is the Christ light around us. Everything that is happening is for our awakening, so that we can remember or know again, like he says in paragraph 3. Recognize means know again. This means you knew before. It doesn't mean that you saw before. You can see in many ways because perception involves different interpretations. But
Yes,
you
Lynn.
do.
Oh, I have a question about that. I'm sorry I interrupted. I should.
No, go ahead, Mary Lee.
Well, when I read over that, I know again, does that kind of come back? Maybe it does, to what Carol, of that your inner self, that it comes, know again that you did, maybe you knew it when you were 5 years old or
Absolutely.
10 years old or like that. And
Yeah. Or even
comes
before you
real
came into this body.
Yep, yep. We had it all from the very, very, very beginning, before we were even ever born, because our birth, our incarnation came after our creation. We were created way before that. We just chose to come in this form to this planet to learn what we need to learn, each one of us. But we always have been, just the way God has always existed, so have we. And
Mhm.
so that's not a concept a lot of people can grasp, but it's the truth. So yes, the truth has been within us forever.
Yeah. It's just like that quote that Carla read
Right.
about the education, how, we come knowing everything.
It's true.
And
Yeah,
then we
that was
learn
me.
some
That was
stuff.
not Carla, but that was me because that was a big learning for me to understand. And that's what set me on the path of, okay, this world has a certain way of behaving and doing. That's not God's way because God is not of this world in that sense. God is with us in our life, but the ways of the world, no, 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 no. You have to do this, you have to do that. This is what you must do. This is what society says. This is what is correct. This is what is accepted. No, 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 no. It does not go that way for us. It's different for us. One quick example, my grandson, he's almost 12, he's 11, and he just got braces. And he said to me one day, Nani, he said, my friend Silas has braces too, but he's struggling. He's to adjust to these braces, to learn to eat stuff and, you know what I mean, clean the braces after he eats. I mean, it's this whole process they got to go through. And he
Mhm.
said, but I don't have that. I'm okay with my braces. And I said, Miles, listen to me. I said, there's a big difference between people like our family who know God, love God, recognize God in our life. We were very prayerful. Do you not believe that your mom and your dad have prayed for you since even before you got these braces, that you would adjust to them, that you would be okay with them, that you would find an ease and a grace to, and he understands these words. He's very, sensitive to this. I said, but Silas's family may not. I don't know. But I said, the difference may be that we've covered you in prayer. And so those prayers to ask God to bless you, bless this experience so that you're the best, highest and best experience with these braces and they do the best for you. I said, understand that. It's a basic thing about life here. This is the way we choose to live. We
Mhm.
choose to live with God first. We go to God with everything. And he got it. I mean, he understood it. So I would imagine he went and prayed for Silas. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because he wants Silas, he loves Silas to have the best experience, but probably no one maybe didn't pray for Silas at all. And I think that was such a big understanding for Miles to get the fact that there's a difference. We are the same, but our life revolves around loving God, loving each other, and nourishing that life.
Well, maybe there's just something that Silas is supposed to learn from this
It
experience.
could very well be because Miles is a wonderful friend. They've been friends for years. But when he
Yeah.
said that, it's like I couldn't help it. It was such an opening, to
Yeah.
just say to him, our life is centered on loving God,
Yeah.
and he knows that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Carol.
Can I
Carla.
read this poem? And now I'll stop.
Sure.
That will be our close.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say next week we are in section 6, the divided mind, and Carla's gonna close us out with her poem.
It's called Heart Path. At some point, you must let go of your learning and live from your heart, your true self. At first, you may have to ask for guidance at each step. Let go of the conscious, and at some point, you let go of the conscious asking and just feel into the next moment, the next action. there is no longer a choice. A choice is no longer seen of what to do next, the next action. We just know. We just do. And life unfolds. Life just is. Presence is being aware of your own cognitive process, your own path of growth. You may see your path, and as soon as it is lived, you forget it. And live the own moment, the next moment as like it's the only moment there is. Like it was the very first moment of your life. And when you do that, you live. You are life. Solely life. You cannot fail. You just live.
Thanks, Carla. This was great.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Carla. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Mary Lee. So good to
Love
see you all.
you, love you. Have a wonderful
you.
week.
Have a good week. See you next week.
Yeah. Bless.
Thank you. Okay,
Bye for now.
bye.